Hey, Ola Bacholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 15, Episode number 3346. Along with Steve the Throw Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, brand new AC/DC, the world premiere of Shot in the Dark. On the way. Return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
All right, here we go. CNN reporter battles a raccoon before going live on the air. Golfing is hard enough, but being gored by an elk on 17 just isn't fair. Oklahoma jail accused of being inhumane after playing Baby Shark on a loop. Sperm donator has enough children floating around to field his own troop. And a man puts up dad jokes every day in his yard to lighten up, the whole COVID thing. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, now look, I personally was expelled from 3 different high schools a total of 4 times. And I also got suspended a lot. And as far as the suspensions go, I earned and deserved each one. Again, that was high school. There's a 9-year-old kid in Louisiana. He was just suspended for 6 days. Now, of course, you're asking yourself why. Because his teacher spotted a gun. Granted, it was a BB gun, and a BB gun was in his bedroom, and they're doing online learning, so it's a BB gun leaning against his desk on a Zoom call. So essentially, he did not bring it to school. He wasn't even playing with it. The teacher just happened to see it in his tiny little Zoom square. Meanwhile, a 12-year-old kid in Florida, now he was arrested, but he brought 3 actual guns to school. We understand the concern. He had 3 handguns on him, but according to him, he just brought them in to show his friends. And even if that's true, you still know you can't do that. These are sensitive times, and he should know that. There's an 18-year-old Florida kid. Now, he definitely knew not to shoplift. How do we know this? Because he hired 5 children to do it for him. Ages 4, 6, 7, 7, and 12. He gave them each a backpack, and then they went in with some scheduled merchandise he wanted them to steal. The problem that he had, however, was 1, kids are not good at theft, and 2, kids are snitches. They rolled over on his ass quick. They're like, yeah, Billy right over there told us to do it. And then we also have a story out of New Jersey. We've been following this story for a few months. I don't know why. It's actually very stupid, but I find it entertaining. It's 7 teens in New Jersey. They broke into a petting zoo. did a little bit of damage, set some of the animals free. The point is this. Authorities knew it was teens, not just because they posted a picture of themselves doing it online, but also they put lipstick on a miniature pony. I don't know why. To me, that is the calling card of someone under the age of 18. All of this boils down to this. Maybe you deserved it. Maybe you didn't do it. Maybe there was an overreaction. Maybe the punishment was too harsh. But today, we want to know, what is the worst trouble you got into growing up?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Text 77999 and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Charles, and away we go. Welcome to Season 15, Episode number 3,346. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. That is a fact. I know for a fact, Steve, to throw a hill on your calendar on your desk, you've been knocking off the days, counting them down for the new AC/DC. We've got it for you today, the world premiere of Shot in the Dark. Play that a couple times for you coming up. Ted, I know you're a big fan of AC/DC as well.
I am.
So that is...
Wouldn't it be funny if it's a cover of Ozzy?
That's kind of what I thought. This morning I was like, oh my God.
One step away from you.
Listened to BJ Miggs and they said, all right, we're going to play some brand new AC/DC, Shot in the Dark. And I thought, is that a cover of Ozzy Osbourne?
Mm-hmm. I mean, great, because the song is Shot in the Dark. There's got to be more than just those two songs called Shot in the Dark.
No, that's it.
You think that's it?
That's it.
I don't know. It's a common phrase.
Yeah.
It's actually a cover of Joby.
We'll play them back to back. Right. You can tell us which one you love and which one we should shove. Coming up.
What was it? Trash it or trash it?
Keep it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dumbass things. Also, we brought this up yesterday during the Shot of the Day as we saluted Eddie Van Halen, who passed away yesterday at the age of 65 years old. Just talking about different experiences as far as, thoughts about Eddie and everything else. And one thing that happened here many years ago, 30-some years ago, 40 years ago, I guess at this point in time, was that Van Halen came in studio when the studios were down on Aurora Avenue. And apparently it was one of the craziest, just off-the-rails experiences of anything that's ever happened to KISW. Fortunately, that was broadcast on the air. Mm-hmm. It was in the afternoon live. I'm pretty sure that was Steve Slayton, if I'm not mistaken. I was trying to figure it out when I was listening to the audio, but you got to remember, again, this is 40 years ago.
It was 1980.
It's not that Steve Slayton doesn't sound like
40.
Steve Slayton, or Gary Crow doesn't still sound like Gary Crow, but it's just kind of hard to figure out who it is because all you hear is the guys in Van Halen doing their thing and going absolutely crazy. They take over the phone lines. They are playing a concert in Seattle that night, so they are getting revved up and ready to go. Yes, there are strippers in the studio. They have cake. If I recall the story correctly,
cake, huh?
Yeah, they cake. Apparently, cake was smeared all over the studios.
Okay,
with the strippers being there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So apparently, it was one of those kind of things. Mm-hmm. Bottles and quite the cleanup. But at any rate, from the story I read, which was, and this is Bo Phillips's point of view. He was the program director at the time. He had called the management or the record company or whatever and said, "Hey, people are excited about Van Halen. We're playing the hell out of them. We hope they can stop by." I want to say it was the 10-year anniversary of KISW at that point in time, if this is the right interview, which I'm pretty sure it is. And they said, we probably can't make it. Those guys have a busy schedule, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Well, lo and behold, in the afternoon, they don't know what's coming, but 4 or 5 black limousines show up outside the radio station with a police escort, motorcade, okay? David Lee Roth gets out of the first limo.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
And then they just rolled in, and they took over, and no one knew what hit them. Okay, well, I believe it's Kathy Faulkner, the late Kathy Faulkner. I believe she dug up the audio. I think we can credit that to her. She's told us the story.
Credit to her anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she's the one who gave us this stuff. So we got it today, and we're going to play it for you later on. We're going to play you a pretty good chunk of when Van Halen came in that afternoon at KISW, back when it was FM 100.
Yes.
Back in the day. So I'm going to do that.
Well, someone confirms it was Slayton.
It wasn't
back Steve Slayton.
It was Steve Slayton on the air. Well, I don't know if Steve's out there, but he could sure give us a call. I mean, he knows the hotline number. He's still.
It might bring back memories, Steve.
Yeah, he's still.
We heard. I heard probably about 5 minutes of it today, and it's ridiculous. It is so over the top. It is so obnoxious, but I could not stop laughing.
Yeah. The picture of Slayton standing there between two hookers and David Lee Roth is fairly entertaining as well. So
Dancers.
Dancers.
Gracious, man.
Dancers. Okay, they danced.
I'm sure they'd have sex with them for free.
Right, you're right. They're not.
Yeah,
they're not.
but
My bad.
That's the sense I got out of the snippets I heard.
See, when you went to the Bunny Ranch, I'd like to think that you hooked up with dancers.
Well, those were paid escorts, but everybody knows it.
Okay, yeah.
It matters, Miles.
Escorts mean you're classy. Hookers mean you're broke.
What happened to radio? How come we don't get that kind of action anymore?
Well, we were here for when radio changed. We got that kind of action for a while. And then around 2005, 2004, it kind of went away. But honestly, listening to that brought back, because Mike said something. I said, look, Ted's first day, man, I believe he rolled in. We had strippers on our lap, right? Topless. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a sports show, for God's sakes.
I said it today because me and Miggs are back there. And I said, Mike, you wouldn't believe this. We used to have strippers in all the time.
All the time.
I was like once a week. But yeah, the first day I went into intern, there was two strippers, Tawaka, and I was on the phone.
Tawaka?
Yeah.
We were drinking, we had strippers.
And I was on the phone with Chichi Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Wow. You probably thought, this is the greatest job I've ever had.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean,
it was great.
There's booze, strippers, a golf legend.
I remember thinking the Tawaka was weird.
Well, it was a favorite Italian liqueur at the time. Maybe she was just rolling on the popularity of the drink. Who knows? But either way, yeah. Times have changed. That's a fact, Mike. I'm sorry you missed all the fun. We just got the tail end of the fun, and then the fun police came in.
Now look at what we have. I have a bottle of water and Orange Crush soda, and you guys have energy drinks.
And believe it or not, it was Janet Jackson. It was the Super Bowl. That's kind of what turned the corner.
TV effed up and radio paid the price for it.
That kind of messed us up a little bit.
Look, you can't see nipples on the radio. Look, right now. Honestly, got my shirts up. Are my nipples not exposed?
You have a lot more tattoos than I remember.
I had to look through your tattoos to find your nipple.
I know. I was like,
I can't find the nipple.
Is that a Starburst nipple?
Yeah.
Is that newer?
No.
Oh, you've had that for a
That's
while?
been there. I just don't show you guys my nipples
like
enough.
Exploding nipple.
Yes.
But I've seen you
Is
play.
the other one exploding?
No. The
Maybe
other
you should
one,
do like a Paul Stanley eye.
They're both very hairy. It looks like Betty Boop staring at you.
Did you have to shave your chest before you got those?
Yeah, they shaved the part of your body about to get tattooed, man. So they had to shave my nipples. That's a terrifying moment.
Good times.
But we digress.
Yeah. That was when radio was fun. So we do have Van Halen. 1980 is the date. We know a little bit from what we've told you. Again, this is 40 years ago.
Right.
And it's a train wreck. When I think of our train wreck, I think of Zakk Wylde. Zakk Wylde did not have strippers.
That is correct.
Zakk Wylde ended up crying at the end of the day. This was
that's a weird moment.
This was not really like Van Halen fun, and you can tell those guys are having a lot of fun, and they're very happy to be in Seattle. And every woman who calls, they invite them backstage. So it's
every single one
of us.
Come around to the back door, man.
So stay tuned for that. I think we're going to play that around TV Time with Ted time. So we'll do that there. And today our question: what's the worst trouble you got into growing up? Maybe you didn't get into trouble, but you should have. You know what I mean? Depending on what you did.
There's a lot. I remember multiple times, nothing specific, but multiple times where, my father comes home, man, and he's laying into me and my brother. And my brother and I realized, like, oh, man, we thought we were in trouble for A. He's only heard about B. Let him be mad about B. Because if he hears about A, he's going to kill us. Right?
Yeah.
So all those things. But I learned that lesson and I've done this to my kids, and I do it on purpose, and both of them have gotten smarter. And I did this very intentionally because you don't want to get your kids in trouble.
Sure.
But sometimes so I would walk in. I want to talk to you, right? And they would fess up to something I didn't know. And I'm like, no, actually, that's not. Now I'm mad about that, too. We'll get to that in a minute.
Sure.
Now when I say it, my son, at least every time, no, I don't. Like, that is the right answer. That's the right answer. Because I know you've done 10 more things that I don't know about. I don't need to know about them. But if you tell me, it's your ass, right? That's the whole thing. So if you don't want to confess, and you don't, do not fess it up to me when I ask, do you know I wanted to? Because I lit the cat on fire? Like, gee, what? You did what? And then they realize, like, oh, you didn't know. Like, no, I didn't know. You just told me, man.
Right,
now you're in deeper trouble.
I think we've all done some door-to-door things growing up. I'm not sure how prevalent that is anymore. As far as you got to sell candy bars, you've got to make money for something. Whether you're,
I thought you were about knocking on the door and
running.
running.
You're in band or
now the cameras ruined it.
No, yeah, exactly.
I had to sell light bulbs. They were $2 a pack, or $2 a light bulb. I sold them for $3 a light bulb to make my money.
Depending on your organization, which you were a part of, if you were in the Boy Scouts, if you were on a football team or a Little League baseball team, you typically had to go door to door and do a little bit of charity stuff, whether it was candy bars or pizzas or whatever the hell they wanted you to peddle.
But I think it's important what they ask you to peddle. And when I had to sell light bulbs, I knew then, I think I was 12 maybe, I knew this was a stupid thing to knock on people's door. If you roll up to my house to sell me light bulbs, the answer is no. I don't care what your deal is. Mm-hmm. If you have candy bars or pizza, it's much more likely that people are going to give you money, right? Sure. It's immediate gratification to eat a candy. Don't make kids sell light bulbs.
And there's also a very definitively different reaction now to when someone knocks on your door than 30 or 40 years ago. For whatever reason.
We used to open it.
The way things have changed. That's exactly right. Just the way society is. I don't know you. I did not know you were coming to my house.
Right.
Who is knocking on my door?
I didn't order Amazon.
Doorbell rings. Maybe you have a package out there or something else. But for the most part, when you hear a knock on your door, you're like, what in the hell is this going to be?
You're already annoyed.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, what is this person going to try to peddle me? Well, here you go. As we go to, I believe the town's name is Covina in California. Sounds better.
Is that what you think it's called?
It's either that or Covina, but I like Covina.
Let's go Covina.
Covina.
No reason.
Covina residents are being warned about two guys going door to door claiming they're raising money for the Covina high school football team. I wonder what their mascot is. Covina. Or the Covina what? The Covina, what could they be?
Be cool if something that rhymes.
Yeah. The pair unknowingly, though, knocked on the door of one of the high school football coaches who knew that they were not on his team. And the encounter captured on a Ring video, one of the alleged scammers told the homeowner, me and my partner, we're raising money for Covina high school football, and we're working really hard, sir. Coach replied by saying, it's funny you bring that up because I know for a fact you guys don't go to Covina because I teach there. I'm a football coach. They went on to then claim that he was a running back on the football team. The homeowner then asked them to name the head coach. They could not, and then eventually left. The football program tweeted out the video of the incident and said the pair was not with the program. They are still looking to find the two teens who were trying to scam the coach there.
So were they offering anything or just asking for money straight up?
I guess they were just saying that they were raising money. So it sounds to me like
that's where you went.
Will you please give a donation? Like, look, those guys that come around with the magazines.
I don't.
Have you ever got one of those magazines?
I've never agreed to do it.
I have ordered them before.
Why?
Many, many, many years ago. Well, because he was in college and he was struggling, Steve, and he needed.
They're all in college. They're all struggling.
I know the line. I know. I still bought the damn magazine from the guy.
What'd you buy?
I can't even remember. It's like Sports Illustrated or whatever.
All right.
There's only a limited selection on those. It's only just the normal mainstream stuff.
I like the guy that's honest and just smokes a cigarette and goes, I got Playboys too.
I never had that guy. But it just seemed like the...
he just slings them out of the trunk.
Right. It never got there.
Well, dude, I did that because I went to Catholic school. So you had to do chocolate bars every year. And then there was like wrapping paper for Christmas.
I remember the kids that would come around with wrapping paper. And my mother would always hook them up. Candy bars, I would hook them up. And like I said, food products or wrapping paper makes sense. You go like, all right. But, man, I had to sling light bulbs, bro.
Light bulbs are tough.
Nobody wanted to do it. And you could tell by the look in their face. But obviously, they know I'm a kid. I'm trying to look all cute and bat my eyes. Because it's like, I know you don't want to buy this.
If they give you a box of 20 candy bars and they're $1 a piece, you're supposed to bring them $20, right? I always had like $16. And the reason is because I ate 4 of the candy bars.
Yeah, that's always
so
a problem.
Inevitably, I don't know, like when I turn my money in, there'd be like 4 collectible silver dollars in there with it or something like that.
Whatever you got as a birthday gift.
You got those little packages that were like the mint from the year.
Yeah,
every single coin in there. I just rip into those and they're close to $1. You know what I mean?
Well, for these chocolate companies, it's a great idea. Like, first of all, the main consumer of your product is children.
Yes.
And the main seller of your product is children. I mean, they're banking on you. I mean, we used to do it all the time because you had to bring in the leftovers if you didn't move them all. But then you have that awkward conversation where there's like, you had 4. I probably had 10 candy bars missing.
Well, they were big. You know what I mean?
I know. Some had almonds.
Yes, they did. They were so good.
Dude, those mint melt-aways, I could make those move. And not just eat them.
Right. Now we go to Wyckoff, New Jersey, where 7 teenagers.
Wyckoff?
We started in Covina, and now we're on our way to Wyckoff.
That's generally how it works for me.
Should we call it Wyckoff? It could be Wyckoff.
No, I like Wyckoff.
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 Yeah. Wyckoff, because we asked you.
Wyckoff!
Because we grabbed your testicles.
I don't want your candy. Wick off.
7 teenagers facing charges in connection to a break-in at a New Jersey farm. They broke into Abma's farm on August 22nd. As you said, we brought you the story then. But they abused the animals. One girl allegedly rode a miniature donkey, and a miniature pony was found with lipstick on its face. 2 people were also caught trying to steal items at the market. They announced charges against 3 17-year-old boys, an 18-year-old man, and 3 17-year-old girls. They're being charged with trespassing, criminal mischief, and overloading the animals there in Wyckoff, New Jersey.
I'm sorry, man. That lipstick part is
just too much.
I know.
Like, guys, like your kids, you're going to do what you do, but don't put lipstick on a miniature pony, man.
Yeah.
It's not all right.
Riding a donkey? That's pretty cool.
I get wanting to ride the donkey more than, hey, let's put lipstick on a miniature
James
pony.
Saying about that. Ride the donkey.
Whoever the kid was that thought of the lipstick, like, it's bad, but also
it was one of the 3 girls from Oradell. That was
Do you think one of the girls? Here's my.
Yes, I don't think a guy's got lipstick in his pocket.
I think one of the guys said, "Give me your lipstick."
He might have.
It's like if I see a drawing of a penis.
I don't think so.
You know,
I think
it's
these
a guy.
girls were the genius.
I don't know.
I do.
I think it was a guy. I don't know. Either way, if we could bet on that, I would take boy asked girl for lipstick because he thought it'd be awesome to put lipstick on a miniature pony. Just my guess.
Okay. All right. Our question: what is the worst trouble that you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Darren. Welcome to the men's room.
Okay, hola.
Hola.
I got 2 epic stories. The last one deals with KISW radio station, so you got to stay tuned for that one. But first one, I used to work at a grocery store, and for over a year, we swapped out the tuna labels on the cans. They're just about the right size for cat food, and we put them back on the shelves. It took a year to figure it out.
Man, I wish I worked with you. I'd have been 100% in on that. I would have
definitely had some conspirators.
Yeah, that's too funny. Now, did you ever have anyone come back and say, "Hey, man, it's mislabeled," or?
Oh, they came back. They just didn't know where it was happening from, and finally they figured it out and fired us both.
So, but you did this for a year?
Oh, for a year. Yeah.
You were serving people cat food, and they thought it was tuna.
They had some tender victuals for a long time.
Jesus. All right.
That's spectacular.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
That's
man.
the first one.
I support that kind of thing. I really do. That's too fun.
And I think I might have almost killed, not Bob Rivers, but Downtown Joe. I was on the radio station with you guys 30 years ago. I was marketing a product called Skinny Dip Thigh Cream in my late 20s.
Skinny Dip Thigh Cream?
Skinny Dip Thigh Cream. This was the #1 most listened to drive time program the whole year that I was on. But we decided we were going to, they found out about me, so we found out we were going to have Downtown Joe come to the station with his shorts on. We slathered it on his belly, wrapped him in saran wrap, and he went jogging outside the station to see if he could lose a couple of inches in like a half an hour period of time. Unfortunately, he was smoking the whole time while he was jogging, and he started keeling over. Like I thought he was going to have a heart attack right there on the radio. So
yeah, guys in radio are not in shape.
Almost killed him.
They couldn't do
Killed
that.
him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who runs and smokes at the same time?
I do one of them.
I've seen it more than once.
That would be an interesting way to finish a marathon, though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got a couple 100 yards left. Just light it up. Just kind of come in, like, yeah.
Ooh, nectar of the gods.
Right, exactly. Marlboro country. Jesus. What's the worst trouble you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
I'm sorry, man. The tuna fish for the cat food label, that to me, that is fantastic. Mm-hmm. That just cracks me up. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
All right, so growing up as a kid, I was kind of a troublemaker. Wanted to be the cool guy in school, and so was easily influenced. But was a latchkey kid, so me and my neighbor friends, growing up, we would do all kinds of things, you know, blow stuff up, make little tennis ball grenades and whatnot. And, well, when I was about 13, we had the day off of school. So we decided to go out and shoot my dad's gun in the woods. And we're out there shooting the gun in the woods, and then we start walking. We're a couple miles from the house, and we decided, you know, everybody's gone at work and whatever else, so we decided to break into a guy's house. Don't know why, just some kids. And so we do, and we get in there, and, we're just being stupid, and go into the bedroom, and we see a bunch of badges up on the armoire or whatever little dresser, and realize that it's a cop's house. So we panic, and we get out of there. Well, my buddy got seen leaving a couple days later, my 14th birthday, a couple days after my 14th birthday. I used to take my parents' cars for joyrides when they weren't home, and I made the mistake of taking my dad's brand new $70,000 Dodge Ram out for a joyride.
Oh, no.
Ended up wrapping it around a tree and totaled it. I mean, literally blinker the tail light wrapped around a tree, and almost died, almost killed my friend, he cracked his head on the windshield and everything. And he got out and ran. Well, he got home. I got in trouble. The neighbors had seen a kid running. They caught him up the road, and he ended up telling on me for everything.
Oh, my God, for the whole deal?
The whole deal. The burglary, the car, the everything.
And what is the punishment for that?
Well, it kind of messed up my life, man, because I was smoking weed, just being a regular dumb kid.
Sure.
And they had come out with drug court. And so, my lawyer, being a public pretender, just convinced my parents that this new program called drug court would be a great fit for me. All I had to do was go to inpatient treatment for 30 days and then be on probation for a year, yada, yada, yada. Well, I was 2 grades ahead in school, racing motocross, everything else, and I ended up doing 3 years in that program before they finally got tired of me and kicked me out. And,
they kicked you out?
Kicked me out. So the whole point was basically you do the program and then they erase it off your records or whatever. And I couldn't get through with it. I ended up running away for months at a time and doing all kinds of stupid stuff.
So what do you do now?
Now I'm in telecom. I just working a normal 9 to 5.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah.
Man, oh man. He was that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Johnny from Cobra Kai.
You know his dad was so pissed off. $70,000 truck.
And you hurt your friend, and then I found out not only did you burgle a house, but a freaking cop's house.
What is the worst trouble that you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
You're in the men's room. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
World premiere brand new AC/DC coming up, Shot in the Dark. Not only that, but we do have a little of the Van Halen invading the KISW studios. Back in 1980, we believe.
I heard a small snippet, and it is insane.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Van Halen visiting a radio station.
Play that coming up during a little TV time with Ted. Here's a good one for you. I don't think this kid meant any harm, but obviously great harm was caused. Unbeknownst to him, we go to the Florida Keys. An 18-year-old was placed under arrest after reeling in a Goliath grouper in Key West.
Is that just a really big version of a grouper, I guess?
It is not. It's a different type of species of grouper. It wasn't the Goliath when you think of the size of it. It is the actual species of grouper.
Okay.
So apparently these things are protected in one way or another. They are a prohibited species. And the guy, Joshua, the kid, he picked up the grouper, put it in his hands, and took a picture of it, and then he posted that to Facebook.
All right.
Put the grouper back in the water, kept on fishing, right? Well, the picture circulated on social media. That tipped off officers with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. They came to his house and arrested him. His bond was set at $7,500.
Because he touched the fish?
Because he took the fish out of the water, picked it up, took a picture with it, and then put it back in the water.
But he put it back in the water.
That is correct.
That's illegal?
That is illegal.
I mean, I know they say, like, don't pet manatees and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of get that. But if I'm fishing, all right, because here's the problem with this. I get in principle what they're doing. The problem with fishing is you don't know what's on the line until you've already pulled it out of the water.
Correct.
Right? So I'm fishing. There's something, and I'm not fishing for this thing because I guess I have the understanding that this thing is hands off or off limits, but I don't know what I have until I reel it. So if you had taken a picture of it and it's hanging off your fish hook, would you still get in trouble? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I don't know what's on my line.
Removing it from the water is the problem with taking the fish out.
I never thought there was rules with catch and release, other than don't cut the hook off inside of its body.
Right. That's what I'm saying. What would be the better option? To cut the line, leave the hook and the leader in there, and let the fish swim away? It seems like that would be something that, would be worse.
Where the kid went wrong is that he ended up doing the right thing. And, he got the picture because it is in the danger. Look,
$7,500, you get arrested, you go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed it. Did he know it was endangered?
He did not know.
We don't.
Oh.
But they still came to his house, arrested him, put him in jail.
So wait, he didn't know?
No, it's $7,500. He got in trouble.
So not only did he not know, but he still made the decision to release
what is the worst trouble you've been into?
Yeah.
Look, if you know it or not, I mean,
right.
In one way or another, I mean, you're still getting in trouble. Like, I didn't know. It doesn't matter. You're going to jail.
Wow, man.
Our question, what's the worst trouble you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
You might as well eat the goddamn thing at that point.
Exactly.
And it's just the giant grouper. I thought grouper you could eat. I feel like I've had grouper.
You can't. It's this certain species.
This particular species.
Of grouper.
Oh, I see.
So it was
remember when we were eating brown eagle burgers and we said, man, oh man, you just can't eat bald eagle?
Oh, yeah, I see.
That's
Thanks
just
for
like
correlation.
that.
Actually, we found out after the fact that that's not true.
Oh.
So, what's the worst trouble you could get into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
I guess I got to cancel my gift certificate to Golden Eagles.
Yes, Golden Eagle Grill. Hello, Charlie. Welcome to the men's room.
Howdy.
Hola.
So, I don't know, I was about 11, 12 years old, and I took a rope to school and roped some kid around his neck.
Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is wrong with you?
We were doing a talent show, and I was doing some tricks out there, and he said, I bet you can't rope me, and he was running. I reached out there, roped him, jerked the slack down, and he, came back on his butt. So.
Okay, that's entirely different than what I was picturing.
So basically,
you were not stringing a kid up.
He was challenging you, right. and he took off running, and just like a cow or a calf, you lassoed him.
Yes, sir.
But how much trouble do you get in for that? I mean, look, I understand people initially are angry, but look, I'm showing him a talent. He's challenging me on it. I'm not trying to kill the kid.
I got suspended, but the worst trouble is when I got home, got whipped by that rope.
Oh, by the very rope.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that was always the thing with school. You're going to get suspended. You're going to get expelled. And I'm like, look, I can deal with that. I don't care if other people are mad. That is a them problem. But when I go home, it is no longer a them problem. That's when it becomes my problem.
Yeah.
I mean, more than anything.
Exactly.
More than anything. There's so much stuff my parents never found out about, but the things they did find out about, it made for some long, bad days.
I think the worst trouble I got in from an actual act of doing something, I was 16 years old, and me and my buddy Brian, we had a grand plan. Brian worked part-time at my other friend who was involved in the stories. His parents had a clothing store downtown, which was also next door to a cleaners.
Okay.
At that particular cleaners, everybody from firemen, policemen, doctors, nurses, you name it, any kind of university stuff, they would drop all their uniforms off there. They would take care of them, alter them, press them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One thing you need to know about dry cleaners, people leave a lot of stuff in their pants, and especially with law enforcement, there were badges that were left on shirts before they needed to be pressed, all this stuff. So there's a drawer of, hey, if you remember that you left something, whether it was cuffs on a shirt or whatever, it's all in this one drawer. Well, my buddy had access to that drawer. So we ended up getting a badge. All right. Not only do we get a badge, but we got a police hat. Now, we knew that our buddies were going to go out because my buddy and I kind of liked these two girls, but they liked our friends. So that kind of ticked off me and Brian a little bit. Not really, but we knew where they were going. We knew what they were doing.
One place you can safely.
We knew on a Friday night that they had a date and all that stuff. So Brian's dad had this basic. It was like a Datsun pickup truck. It was white. It was like a B2000 or something. Right. I can't remember the name of the truck, but it was just a standard-looking truck. We went to Radio Shack, and we bought a light that you would put on top of the car. There was a magnet light, and it was used for volunteer fire department members. You ever see somebody flying down the road with a little light on top of the car?
Kids up to no good.
Kids up to no good.
You know your clientele.
So it's wintertime. I've got a blue jacket on with a police badge. I've got a police hat on, I've got dark sunglasses, and I've got a scarf around my face, all right? We knew they had beer and wine coolers. We knew where they were parking. So we rolled up behind them. Starcher leans down, and we couldn't get the thing to blink. So he's plugging it in and out.
Oh, the light on top?
Yeah, right. He's plugging it in and out of the lighter socket, and it keeps moving it and blinking it and stuff like that. So we pull behind him. I've got one of these big-ass mag flashlights. I walk up and knock on the window, right? And I shine it in everybody's eyes immediately. So I blind everyone in the car first, right? And then I look down like, you guys got beer. Let me see your ID. So Joel, who's driving, hands me his ID, which is a fake ID from Pennsylvania. I confiscate it. I'm like, this is a fake ID. So I take his ID, and then I take the 12-pack of Budweiser they had. Or I think it was Michelob. 12-pack of Michelob in bottles. And they also had a 4-pack of wine coolers. They just got there.
Right.
They just started to park. They were going to drink. They're going to have their fun. So I'm like, I'm going to have to confiscate your beer. And I took the one out of his hand and poured it out in front of him. And then I took all the other beer, all right? So then they don't know it's me. They have no idea it's me. To this day, I mean, they know, but I mean, to this day, I still go, how in the hell do we pull this off? So we steal all their beer, we steal all their wine coolers, and then Starcher and I go back to his place and we drink all their stuff.
Well, of course.
We drink all, and that was the whole point. We just wanted to steal their beer and ruin their night. So we drink all their beer, and then Brian has the right idea. He has this great idea. Let's take all the beer bottles back, the wine coolers back, and we'll throw them in Joel's front yard. All right? So we do this. All right? So Joel, when he comes home, his parents didn't see that.
Right.
They go and they take all the beer bottles and then they go to my house and they throw them all out in front of my yard. And they smash some beer bottles in the driveway, too, which is not good.
Have they figured out that you guys are behind this at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They have definitely figured this out with all the beer bottles in their front yard. They knew exactly what the hell was going on. So they kind of pieced it all together at some point in time. I don't know what the hell happened. But either way, so Brian then, for whatever reason, he got in trouble because his dad needed the truck. His dad was an emergency room surgeon. His dad got called out. All right. We had his truck. So this is problematic. All right. Because his dad.
Did a person die?
I don't know. His dad could not make it to work.
Don't know.
His dad could not make it to work. It was a problem. Like they didn't have.
He's an emergency, physician?
His mom was out of town with her sister someplace visiting like their aunt or something.
Right.
We took his dad's truck. He needed the truck. So this was a big problem. So Brian basically kind of spilled the beans and told his dad what we had done.
Everything?
Everything that we had done.
Dumb. Come on, man.
Because not only that, but like Brian, well, see, when we came back, Brian's dad was waiting. Brian has the badges. He has all this stuff.
Ah, okay.
Because he's going to take it back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like the next day, we're going to return the hat. We're going to return the badges. We're not keeping that stuff. So Brian's got it on him. You know what I mean? And his dad's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And he explained it to him, and then I got in trouble because all the beer bottles were smashed out in front of my house. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm cleaning them all up. Lights go on outside. Dad and Mom come out. What the hell's going on? At this point, I don't know Brian spilled the beans yet.
Has he spilled the beans to your parents?
Not yet. That was the next morning. So then my ass got reamed out. Okay. I mean, it was the greatest prank ever.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, as far as being able to use a car anymore, being able to go anywhere, I couldn't do anything for months except for school activity.
Guess you posed as a cop and stole someone's alcohol?
Well, not only that, but we stole the badge to use. We stole the hat. You know what I mean? And we stole their beer. We're all underage. Now Joel's parents know that he has a fake ID. It just kept spiraling down.
It was a big domino effect.
Oh, my God. It was like everybody got their ass handed to them, except for Pat.
But would you do it again?
Hell yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell yes. It's still the story we tell. You know what I mean? Like when we're all
I don't know if you can call it the greatest prank ever, though, because you didn't pull it off.
We got all the beer. All we wanted was to drink the beer.
Their mission was accomplished.
We got in trouble for being drunk, too, because we were hammered. I mean, we're 16 years old. We polished off a 12-pack and 4 wine coolers.
Yeah.
So me and Brian were sloshed.
Right.
You know what I mean? We were like, yeah. And we still thought it was funny. And we couldn't understand why they didn't think it was funny. But then Brian's dad kind of explained why it wasn't funny at all. And they're like, oh, God, that's not funny at all.
But they just still kind of think it was funny.
They called another surgeon in from like a different county.
We still don't know who died, though.
We don't know anything about that, no.
I want to find out. I want to find out that somebody died because you wanted cheap beer.
His dad passed on, though. What's the worst trouble you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
Lucky break. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Hola.
Okay, so this is probably about when I was maybe 14, 15-ish. We decided to play around with this party favor that rhymes with Beth. And we
meth, I hear you calling.
We ended up getting pretty wide awake, and we decided to go take a walk. And when we were taking a walk, we saw a guy with these really expensive headphones on. So me and my buddy decided, hey, you know what? Those are now ours. So we beat him up and took them and ran. And we hid him in some nearby apartments. And this is also in the big city of Lacey. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but
mildly.
But anyways, we hid them, and we're like, oh, we'll just come back and get them later. Well, we made one city block, and then we came back down the road, and we looked, and I was like, hey, bro, you see all those cops down there? He's like, yeah, let's go check it out. So we walk up to said police, and then all of a sudden we hear, that's them. And we're arrested for second-degree strong-arm robbery.
Oh. How bad is the punishment for that?
It was 52 to 75 weeks in June.
And then what is the response from parents?
They never really talked to us about it. Like, we never got visited, never nothing.
So wait, you didn't go to juvie for a year and a half?
Oh, no, we did.
Oh, you did go.
But your parents, after you served your time, your parents just didn't really have much to say about it?
Well, I mean, my dad was just pretty much, you were arranging dip-s, and, I thought I taught you better, and yada, yada.
Okay, so standard, yeah.
Though when you're in juvie, you're going to class, right? You're still in school.
Oh, yeah. You had to do your schoolwork and stuff, but, I mean, the visitations were horrible because all you got to hear was how big of a piece of garbage you were.
That's when you don't want visitors. Like, is it my parents again?
Who's visiting?
My pops. He was visiting, and he was, he's an old Navy vet, and so I was just pretty much every other 3 days I was lectured on, how I'm a disappointment and I'm a piece of garbage, and but I mean, eventually it all got forgotten. But yeah, that was pretty much the worst experience I've ever had.
Did you? Did you? When you got out, did you kind of straighten out a little bit from this experience?
Yeah. Needless to say, me and Beth never hung out again.
Yeah,
that's good.
Okay,
that's good. I'm sorry you and Beth had to part ways, but she wasn't good for you.
No, she's a dirty white female. I can't stand her.
Okay,
all right,
man.
What's the worst trouble you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
Like, I know my kids are going to do some stupid stuff. In fact, my daughter's in massive trouble when I get home tonight. But if more than jumping and beating the hell out of someone and stealing their headphones, like you were on meth. You were on meth.
You're 14.
That's where I would lose my mind the most.
Oh, see, I was the opposite.
Really?
I mean, look, you don't want kids messing around with. You don't want anybody messing around with meth,
right?
But then it's like, man, we just beat the crap out of somebody and robbed them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that goes hand in hand with meth. I
do agree.
I mean, that's part of the thing. Meth, then maybe that wouldn't be the decision that they would make.
Yeah. It's kind of like you can't do meth.
Because that kind of makes you a little bit aggressive, doesn't it, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't know. Every time we do profile this, it seems like if someone is exceptionally aggressive and meth is one of the options, almost no one picks meth.
I just
if I pick like crack, bath salts, PC, meth.
Well, you're throwing out, the messed up of the messed up drugs.
Well, okay, that's true. I don't know. The
people in my neighborhood that do meth,
they're very talkative.
They throw their hands and they like the one guy.
They're intense, but
throws
they're not
all his
aggressive.
clothes off. And
I don't know, man.
I feel like they're self-aggressive though.
The other thing you got to keep in mind though is that it's a cheap drug that keeps people up for days.
Sure.
Right? So besides the fact whether the drug makes you aggressive, like you're just losing your mind.
And you're just tired.
But in my neighborhood, I'd rather deal with, sounds bad, but at least the heroin junkies just kind of nod off and they're just sitting there.
Heroin junkies,
the meth heads are real aggressive.
They are.
Always want money, always want your booze when you're coming out of the corner store.
Okay, meth or crackhead. It's like our game show.
Oh, definitely crackhead. You can actually talk to a crackhead. And,
do you want to?
Well, but after 5 minutes, they'll come down. Because that buzz is so short.
And they'll tell you they're on crack.
Right.
They have no problem telling you
you're on meth,
crack.
like Ted says, days. So you're not going to be able to get even
you're just not talking to a human there.
Like with crack, every second you're talking to them, they're getting closer to being normal again. It's true.
I'm also basing this on, what was the show that had all the addicts on it?
The celebrity thing?
No. This is one where they all ended up going to rehab, and it's supposed to be like a good... people will know exactly the show I'm talking about.
Is this like a real show?
Oh, yeah. But they would... The meth head...
Intervention or something?
Intervention. Good call.
Yeah. Right.
But some of the meth heads... I remember there was one episode, and there was this like girl, she's like, my sister's on meth. And the sister would just spend like days on end in a room with like trash and like just on a mattress with no sheets, eating like 1 cup of noodles for 3 days. I was like, man, what is what the hell
does not
happening?
sound like a good buzz.
No.
1 cup of noodles over a period of 3 days.
Right?
You got a problem.
Like the soupy part of the cup is still sitting there.
What's the worst trouble that you got into growing up? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.